Hey guys, Rorius here. Welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. We just learned a lot about our mother's brothers and her immediate family. Her father, her mother, and her two brothers. And now we're gonna learn a little bit about our mother.
She spent a
Dawn
summer
Finch.
building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Yep. Yeah. I was gonna say, it's interesting because, yeah, we kept the Finch name despite the fact that our father is actually, I don't think, it doesn't say the surname on here, Sanjay, but it said it on the gravestone outside and I've forgotten what it is already. Yeah. She must have been doing like the, what's that thing called again? What's that charity? Where they go overseas and they build houses? 10 ways to teach critical thinking. Fly to India. Yeah. Dawn. So no, there's not much. Oh, never mind.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Ah. Oh wait, here it is. Holy
Religion
Bible.
was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Right. I was gonna say, I somehow missed that. Walked straight past it. And I can go back down the pole. But I think I'm supposed to go this
Born
way.
a year later.
So yeah, Lewis is the oldest brother. My brother.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Okay. Dawn. Edith, Milton, Lewis.
And to see kids in the house again.
Yeah. This is our little garden, is it? Milton, our brother who went missing. And Lewis, our brother who died of some sort of illness or something.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Oh, this is up the top. Are we? Oh, we're climbing the weird top part now. That's what's happening. I just realized. We're going all hello neighbor on on
For a
us.
while, things were good. Almost normal.
Were we homeschooled or something? Great
But it
job.
didn't last.
Edith. All the family members' names. Lewis. Lewis rules, I see. Edith, Lewis, Milton with no paper in it. Mrs. Finch, yeah. Scientific method. Observation, question, research, hypothesis. Hypothesis, experiment, data, conclusion. Relief effort ends in disaster. Hundreds of relief volunteers are injured or dead after the effects of a second earthquake. So that's our mother, our father, and all of us. With the baby being us, I suppose. To Learn and to Teach by Dawn Finch. 7 ways to create a fulfilling classroom. Ah. See, our mother was sort of like had done studies on education, on being an educator. Odin Finch. Yeah. By Edith Finch. This is us. So I guess we were the star pupil, were we?
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Beginning of the end. Milton.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton was born 2 years before I was. Me, the real Rorius, before Rory was born. Not before Edith Jr. I really hope I haven't missed anything, because there's a bunch of stories I haven't seen yet. Well, I haven't filled out Edie or Sven. I'm pretty sure they're going to be the last ones that we fill out. But we haven't filled out Dawn yet, although I suppose we're probably going to fill out some of this first, and then we'll come back. Because Dawn's story isn't really over yet. I have that feeling that's just it. It's that, other than maybe we're not going to have Sven or Kay because they're the wife, or they're not a Finch, and we're not going to have the story of Sanjay because he's not a Finch. Maybe the next one we're going to see is Lewis or Edie. Oh no, next one's Milton. Then Lewis or Edie, then Dawn. And then that just leaves us. Oh, whoops. Did I really go back instead of going through the window? There's a window over here. Castle door. So was Milton the artist?
I think Edie was happy to finally
an
have
architect.
another painter in the family.
Yeah. Bit of an architect type. Made his own little castles, courtyards and the like. Oh. Huh. Yeah, Milton's a little king. At least that's how Edie saw him. Little fortress on the like castle on the hill.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh. This is a massive little notebook. How many pages are this little thing? That's how Edie saw it, isn't it? But like, that's Milton's painting.
That was before Milton disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how Edie would see it, as like, because that was the last thing Milton seemed to have painted or drew. In Edie's mind, Milton painted
Mom
himself.
spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Painted himself a door to another world.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Milton had painted himself another world and then he just disappeared. Never to be seen again.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Oh? Why?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Lewis.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
I got an achievement. A closer look. Oh, wait. Before we go that way. Never mind. Guess we're going that way. There's an amazing view. What a crazy house this is. It's a ramshackled property.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
San Juan Ale. Legalize marijuana. Yep. I could tell as soon as I saw this. I was like, yep. He played games, of course he did. His high school diploma, that's good. Wonderland Turbo,
Lewis and I
non-brand.
spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them.
Oh.
He died a lot.
Okay. I was gonna say, he's like 2 years older than I am, I think. No, Milton's 2 years older. How old's Lewis? Oh, he was born 88, so yeah, he's a bit earlier. Yeah, Milton would have been the closest to me in my era of games. He's also seemingly quite the pot smoker. Oh dear. That painting looks like it might be one of Milton's. Except for the color in it. A lot of movies and games and stuff. Dawn Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh.
He kept working at the cannery.
Right, he's just like beheading fish.
But he withdrew part of himself.
This is the part. This is the only part of this game that I'd heard
I saw
about.
the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a
This is
labyrinth.
weird.
He'd feel his way about.
Oh, I'm so bad at multitasking.
Then something moved.
Oh.
Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in
I'm
his
so
head,
bad at multitasking.
but he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Yeah, so he's like, it's imagining video games.
But he found something more.
Oh. It's becoming a game
I
developer.
worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
That's how you get your
I
hands
spoke with his
cut
boss.
off.
But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
This is the only...
I even encouraged him.
This is literally the only part of the game that I'd seen beforehand.
It seemed very promising at first.
Oh, actually, no, I'd seen the swing before, but I didn't realize I'd seen it before until just
Told me
now.
he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
So he was like, yeah, he got lost in a world in his mind.
And songs for them to play.
He's a game developer.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Of course.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Well, what they are talking about, basically, in my mind, is
Conquer a city, then
game
immediately
development.
push on.
Game development cycle.
New Louisville.
New Louisville.
St. Louis.
St. Louis, I like it. It's
He
spelled
started
differently,
drifting
but...
away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Did he completely dissociate, did he?
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Of course I'm going this way. What do you expect of me?
The prince was on his own quest for radiant rainbows.
I went the way that didn't collapse that rainbow.
He followed the sound of his
Electric sitar.
electric sitar.
Oh, I missed the first note.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Oh god. This is so weird.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
God.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Yeah. The one chopping salmon.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
The one chopping salmon. Oh. Is just like the maintenance mode version of him. His
Began
true
to forget
self.
the world we know.
His true self is the one in his dream, in his mind. Yeah, I'm playing as Lewis right now. Oh, I have tattoos. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Imperial Palace, because that's like the only takeaway place. Is this supposed to be like him? I want to say an allegory, analogous to like coming out to all his. The noise is like the crowd
Lewis,
clapping.
the cannery worker.
That was almost like I was coming out on the stage of all my worshippers.
Began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh yeah, I'm playing as the king one. Or is this the cannery Lewis? It's not actually even doing anything.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Did he kill himself?
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
It's a guillotine. That's why Lewis had a. Oh, when they meant tattoos, they were like.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
I just realized what the implication was. He killed himself at the cannery.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Because the whole thing was he was grabbing fish and chopping their heads off. I didn't put that together until the very end. He must have stuck his head in the fucking fish decapitator and killed himself. Jesus Christ. Oh no, I was pressing backwards, what the hell?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
Nah.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
I had to
I'm
get
not sure
out.
if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Because everything was... The curse had returned, sort of,
I
upon...
wish we'd stayed.
Wish we'd stayed.
But I understand why we left.
It's like, while we were here, Milton died, or disappeared at least. And then Lewis died. It was only pain and sadness here.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Sanjay Kumar, that's it. Disaster relief, evac specialist. Yeah. And that's how what he died doing, from what I recall. Maybe 90th birthday.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
Oh, the little bird things. Little bird origami. I'm assuming that's something Dawn had done.
Maybe it should have come sooner.
Edith. Finally at our room. Heading towards our room. Ill the bird origami? Was that something we did, or is that... Because Edie likes birds.
One way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Yeah. Happy 90th birthday. This is our bedroom. Way up in the peaks. The king and his people. It's like an amalgamation of all the stories of the past that we've learnt so far. Our one. Our quill. Well, it's made to look like a quill, but it's just a pen.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Yeah. So we have Edie left us a present in the hallway.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
She wasn't planning on leaving the house. Hence why she's drinking alcohol. History of the Finches by Edie Finch. That's why we have Finch.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
Nah.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They
Oh.
called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Yeah. And you'd want to do
When
it
the
quickly.
fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered.
Oh, this is how you die.
I started seeing things.
Oh.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
This once again seems like a strange dream of a situation. It doesn't feel real.
Things I can't explain.
The house is
but that
normal.
I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
Yikes.
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
Uh,
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but
She was dead.
already gone.
I
After
knew
that,
it.
we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
oh, I see.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
It was just...
Last Finch left alive. until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
Is this the next Finch being
You'll
born?
never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Well, 1999 to 2017. So what, she was only 18 when she died? And she had already had a son? A story by Giant Sparrow. For Shirley Dallas. 1948 to 2013. Aww. Yeah, that's it. That was What Remains of Edith Finch. Ian Dallas, creative director. Oh, these are all kids' pictures of the developers when they were children. Joshua Sarfati, Chelsea Hash, Brendan Martinowitz. The End of Everything achievement. Chris Bell. Yeah. So once again, our son is growing up without his mother. Again, to be the final Finch. Yeah. Well, what a ride. What a mixed bag of weird that this family is. Like all the different ways in which people died in this family. It's all so strange. That's the idea, is that they all have their own little, like, fairy tale attached to them. Achievement unlocked. Thanks, Johan. Oh, because he's the Unlockables programmer? Yeah. Gus, Dawn, and Gregory. Yeah. Well, yeah, what a little trip that was. It's a short but sweet experience of a game. And, yeah, it's funny because people who play this frequently, like, hone in on that one of those last, like, mini-game things that we did. The one where you're cutting fish and you're controlling a character while also cutting fish. It does, my brain does not handle that kind of thing well. It's like the rubbing your stomach while patting your head thing. Like, it messes with my brain. But, yeah, I see why. Like, that, and for me, the other really, really, like, memorable, I mean, all of them are memorable. All those, like, the swinging on the swing set, the playing as the cat, and then the mini animals of Molly. But the other one that I was going to mention that was a really standout for me was the comic book where you play as Barbara. Like, yeah. What a unique and interesting idea this was. And actually, one of the game ideas that I had years and years and years ago, which I don't think I'll ever end up making. I'd love to make it, but it kind of is similar in a way to this. There's always the story that I've had that involves death. And this game kind of, the way that it's each person died in such a unique way, and they'll have their like special, the end. Aww. 2012 to 2017. The way that each character had their own little death. See, Dawn does have a picture. We never got this picture. Or Edie's picture. I gotta replay a story. Okay, so that is this final story. Okay. Theirs is the final story. Okay, good. I didn't miss something. And if you choose Edith, that just starts you at the beginning of the game. Yeah, as I was saying, Lewis, Molly, Barbara. Oh, Sam's one. I forgot about Sam's one. Sam / Dawn. But it was Sam. Walter's one was just so depressing. Calvin's one is the swing set. Gregory's is the bath one. That was neat as well. That was the first one that made me really, really sad. Yeah. But yeah, it's such a neat idea, and as I was saying, like the idea of like going into a person's the moment before they died and experiencing their life shortly before they died, and each of them being like a very unique scenario. It throws me back to that idea that I had, which since I don't think I'll ever make it. So basically, my idea was to play as like some kind of, I want to say like not a gatekeeper, but like a guide, a spirit guide to the afterlife, where you go into the last moments of characters' lives before they died, and you bring them something from that snapshot of reality that makes them feel at peace and therefore able to move on. That was a thing that there was a story I was going to make. There was a game I was going to make about that. But unfortunately that kind of game is very walking simulator-esque. And I just didn't have when you make a walking simulator, you really need it to be visually interesting. And I don't have the visual artist skills to do that. But I mean, I may end up making that someday, but if I do, someone else will be doing the art. It will not be me. I will be the programmer. But yeah, that is What Remains of Edith Finch. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe. Check the links in the description, hit the bell, share the series. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I thought it was really cool, really neat. Neat little experience of a game. And I'll catch you in the next series.